There was a worthy Lord of Lorn, a lord of high degree. He and his wife had but one son, who they sent to learn chivalry. The son was so quick to learn, studied at every turn, was gentle and bright and carefree. He learned more in but one day than most of his peers learned in 3. The son went back to his father's hall after 3 years of learning. Said, "Father, I return to thee, I can read all those pages you're turning." His father was jubilant, said, "France must be your intent, to learn languages of many lands. Go thee now to foreign shores, for that son is my next command." His mother with a watchful eye asked who would go with him abroad. The Lord of Lorn said his steward was to trust to go with the young lord. He gave the man money free, dressed them both in finery, said, "We trust you as honest and right." The steward cried, "If I prove false, an ill death I will hope to die." The 2 sailed off to France's shores, but the steward proved harsh and unkind. He gave the young lord no money, so no drink or meat could he find. At a river 2 knees did sink, as water he tried to drink, but the steward he tried to drown him. "Mercy, please," the young lord cried, "I'll give you my clothes with fine trim." The steward let him have his life, said, "Tell none or I'll kill you, I swear." He took him to an old shepherd's house, said, "Your name is now Pore Disaware." The shepherd, a kindly man, had no son, so he began to care for the lad in his keep. His wife, she spoke so tenderly, taught him to look after the sheep. The steward sold his riches off and bought some fine clothes for he. He styled himself as Lord of Lorn, met the Duke of Normandy. He courted his daughter fair, said the Duke to a great fanfare, "Is £1,000 a year. If you will wed my young daughter, who to me is very dear." One day the young lady a riding went, as she did often go. She saw a shepherd tending sheep, and out to him she spoke. The boy fell on bended knee, out of pure chivalry. The lady asked where he came from. "I was born in fair Scotland, it's the land where my family belong." "Tell me more about yourself," asked the young lady fair. "For 3 years I've been tending sheep, my name is Pore Disaware." She asked, "Will you tell to me this that I ask of thee? Have you heard of the Lord of Lorn?" "Oh yes, I know that worthy lord, from the country where I was born." The lady asked the shepherd boy if he'd go into service for she. He could be her chamberlain, she'd give both meat and fee. She went to her father dear, asked him if he would hear cause for her own chamberlain. The Duke replied, "It's not my choice, you must ask your fiancé the same." The false steward had since arrived, his lady he saw with a boy. He asked the boy where he was born, to see him he was most annoyed. "I am from Scotland fair, my name is Pore Disaware, I keep sheep on the lonely lea." "You're a false young man," the steward cried, "and I will soon prove it of thee." The lady then spoke forcefully, said, "If you are cruel to he, O Lord of Lorn, you'll it regret, and you'll soon get no favours from me." The Duke then asked courteously, "Will you act as groom for me? Will into my stables you go?" The boy agreed to the kind Duke, And he went there, though now full of woe. 6 months had passed, the boy worked hard. He was friends with all that he met. One day he took a gelding out to the river for drink to get. The horse kicked him in the head. He looked at it, then he said, "You've kicked the true young Lord of Lorn." He didn't know the lady was so near and heard what he'd sworn. "Please tell me more," the lady asked, but the groom he dare not speak. "Then tell your horse your own story if you can't say it to me." "Well, my father's the Lord of Lorn, not that impostor born, false steward sent to care for me." The lady then felt so betrayed, said, "Lord, I will gladly help thee." She said unto her father dear, "There's a task that's left unto me. All I ask is, will you halt my wedding for but months 3?" The lady wrote in her hand a letter to fair Scotland. The Lord of Lorn read it and cried, "Ready now, my men, to sail. That steward will wish he had died." They sailed away to France's shores. The lady brave they sought. They found the castle of the Duke, and the old Lord of Lorn went forth. He saw his son working there, said, "Bless you, my son and heir," told the Duke of his son's plight. "Justice now," the Duke replied, "our lords judge the steward tonight. He's guilty of such cruel crimes," next morning the lords declared. "So make ye ready, thou false steward, for your death you should now be prepared." He was hung, drawn and quartered then, afterwards boiled in lead, his body next cut up in bits. They cast the pieces then 'pon a hill, a fire of the body parts lit. The young lord and young lady stood and watched the treacherous steward die. They'd grown quite close throughout the months, and their love was plain to the eye. They were married within a year, their families standing near. There was music and laughter and cheer. And in time the younger Lord of Lorn was master of lands he held dear.